Hey guys, Lady Hippy's back at the bar this morning. We are, of course, here for entertainment purposes only, and I will be here all week apparently. I did add an addendum to the description, and I seem to tend towards speaking a lot about current events. So the channel I have redone it just a wee bit. It's going to go with anything and everything and current events, which really should be covered by the first two, but we're going to go with that. Mm. My hubby is in there making it smells good. He's making me a breakfast bacon egg taco. Even though I tell the man I don't want to, he makes me eat it anyway. So there's that. So I may not be on as long as I want it to be this morning. I may pop another one through here. I've also decided to go ahead and check into a few things and maybe drop a channel in here or there on the paranormal. Uh, it depends exactly, again, on what I'm speaking about as to whether it would be paranormal, current events, just changes. So if there's any ideas y'all want me to throw in here, stick it in the comments, hit that like, click on the bell. There's your subscription free. You can check out whatever I pop through in for whenever you can actually see it that you have time for. I also decided that I'm going to need a different time frame. I thought between 10 and 12 would be a good, because basically it's just not working as well as it should. I believe too many of us are still, even those of us at my age. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get a better time spot. So if anybody's got any ideas on that, just throw them in the comments. I can't say too much about everything this morning because it's been an absolute wreck. I mean, it's a train wreck out there. And federal government suing state governments because of the border. And excuse me. Truck drivers are boycotting New York, which people may not think is a big thing. It really is. Those trucks deliver everything you eat, drink, your kids, everything. If you want a pencil, it's because the truck driver brought it. They're not going door to door with trains. Just saying, guys. And truthfully, I don't even know what the beef is yet. I think they're supporting Trump in the fact that they railroaded the man through the New York courts. He was found. I don't even think the verdict was guilty, but just as fine, and he can't do business in New York for 3 years. Now, I didn't even know you could do that. And I haven't had time to look through and do a deep dive on that one. But you raid a former president's home, a president who didn't take a salary, who worked literally like 21 hours a day. He had 4 or 5 hours sleep, and he was at it again. And didn't look ruffled, didn't look tired, didn't forget his lines. Nobody had to go over there and stop him. They didn't have to throw the press out. They should have done so, because that was the worst press I've ever seen in my life, as far as rude, stupid pablum questions that they were giving a man. And still, he didn't say what Joe Biden did say about Peter Ducey in a live mic, which was there. That's one stupid son of a, yeah. And everybody knows he said it. Everybody heard it. And Peter, I just adore Peter. I watched this as a little baby. He's Steve Ducey, son off Fox. And I actually saw Fox started in San Antonio on cable as actually it was a free channel. And I've watched Peter grow up on that set. I've watched Peter go on to become broadcasting through his career. And then I saw him posted up to DC. So I do check on those conferences occasionally because I do, as I said, I followed Peter since he was a toddler. And his father used to do the weather. I mean, it was, and there was no big sets. There was none of that stuff. It was a small channel. Now it's this, first ones to go satellite. And they really were the first to go to satellite. They fired pretty much everybody they ever had on there that I watched for the first decade. Then I quit watching it because it was all politics. It was all, everybody is. MSNBC, CNN, ABC, you name it, Fox. And even then, I wouldn't give up at first. I kept thinking, no, it can't be that bad. I'm just kidding. There's just a lot of politics going on. No, there wasn't. These were bought off. And that's why you get nothing for nothing. except that most of us are paying $1,200 to $1,800 a year to watch TV that's really nothing. Um, we stopped doing that. We went to live streaming, and at first that was great, and then they changed that. So now you have commercials that hold you. You're not streaming. They put commercials on there. You can't get out of the commercial. Um, and there are some commercials that hold you, and they're in, I believe it's Spanish because I took that a long time ago, but you can't, it doesn't subscribe it to you in English. You can't translate that. It's just done in Spanish, and that's the commercial. They'll finally let you off and go back to your show. So, my advice is if you're doing all of this and so forth, yeah, it used to just be the internet. Now it's the internet, Wi Fi, so they charge you too. It's still the internet. Same thing. But they keep finding ways to make your bills higher. And they know most of us pay our bills online because it was required. They wanted you to do that. Don't want to, you send paper. And then they started for those 2 pieces of paper every month to say you owe money. You have this, that. And the creative billing is what gets me. I mean, you're renting your remote. You're renting. You're renting your everything. So here you're paying them to broadcast to your house so you can watch it. Then you have to pay for the rent of all of the equipment, everything, the remote, the modem, all of that. But then, of course, when you call in and they want you on automatic payment, you call in, you go, hey, you took 3 payments out. What's up with that? And I need that put back. And I'm not going to keep you on automatic payment because, and you always raise it every other month. And that's why they want you to do, automatic payment, no paperwork. So that it's up to you then to pay for the ink and print it and so forth. While they're inventively adding more stuff to charge you for. I'm charged just the little cable company we have besides the streaming, which was supposed to be $49 a month, instantly came out at 80. We don't know how that happened. And there was no backing down. They said, "Oh, we don't have a 49 one." And I'm looking at it on my laptop while I'm talking to them. I'm looking at your plan. It's 49. Why have you changed mine? Oh, no, we don't have a 49. And stayed with that, no matter if they knew I knew they were lying or not. They charging you an FCC fee. So I contacted the FCC and I said, what is this fee that you're um, charging all of the citizens for? We don't charge any fees. I said, I said, all the satellite companies are charging us FCC fees. So maybe somebody should do something about that. Well, we'll send it down the line, ma'am. Thank you for calling. That was 5 years ago. So that's just one. That's just one. Then the other one was another channel, and actually the same one, but they were charging you $5 or so a month. Maybe it was 7, in case you got to see a broadcast sports game, basketball, baseball. It could be on one of your channels. So they're going to charge you that sports fee every month because you might see some sports on one of the channels you already pay to watch. Then they broke down PBS to Masterpiece to this, that, and the other. So what used to be free on Channel 8 when I was growing up, it was all free, right? All of it was free. Then it was, and the advertisers were the ones who were supposed to be paying for this. You advertise with that company during this time, and you get such and such. Well, they're still doing that, but they're also making millions of seconds from everybody else to keep this going. Personally, we don't miss, and I thought I would. Several things that were on TV because you only got to see anything good maybe once a week anyway, and you're paying $2,000 a year, literally $2,000 a year. You're locked into a contract for 2 years that you can't change, but they might add to it. And I love the excuses they give you when they add. Um, think cost of living goes up, and I'm like, you want to reach through the phone. That's of course in Bombay, India, and grab the little pup and slap him about the face a couple of times and say it's not your money. Wake up. So I'm going to give that one a current event today. Again, with touching back on the narrow truck drivers, it's a mess. I don't know how many are there. And yeah, my eyes are bothering me again this morning. My husband checked it. It's really bad air out there today for those with allergies. And I have terrific allergies since I was from the north, although I kept getting further south for basic reasons of why are they living up north? Why are they digging up their car every morning? I don't want to do that. So, I mean, it's actually, I'm surprised because this year is colder than last year. We've gone down to freezing only, I think, 3 or 4 times at 32. I remember skating to school on ice skates, and it was 22 below and snowing. No, you don't want to do that, Georgia. No. If they say it might snow, keep your kids at home. Don't move your car. Because you know that 3/4 of the people on the road do not have a clue on how to drive in the snow. And I can't say that I could do it now. My husband can drive anything. It doesn't matter. I mean, he's definitely one of those. I mean, he could put my car on the roof if he wanted to. Hopefully, he doesn't want to do that because he got me a Chevy Cruze. I love my little car. Um, and there goes my eye again. Um, again, I'm going to try to throw this in earlier than I normally do. Probably not as long, but I might drop some videos later. I don't know. I'm going to change this format around a little bit. Probably come in later in the evening. I like to do things early in the morning. I hurt less during that time, and I have more time early in the morning than I do in the afternoon and evening. And I actually set myself a time because I was up at 6 and I wasn't stopping things. I mean, I'd still be doing this at 7 o'clock at night. That makes an awfully long day for me. And so I said that I had to put a foot down and say, okay, I'm off at 5 o'clock, just like any other job. Whether I'm cleaning your floors, I'm doing the cooking, whatever it is, dishes, everything had to be done by 5. I had to have time off myself. And it's a hard principle to stick with, even though it's just my husband and I. It's not that easy to say I'm off too at 5 o'clock. So this is another reason that I had not moved the channel and switched the criteria to evenings. And so I'm still going to try to keep between 10 and 12. I will try to drop it every day on Facebook. You can go through and on YouTube and hit search and put in Lady Hippy with a Y. I don't know where they got the IE, but it was always with a Y. And I'm at the bar, and that's the title. So at any time you can still search on YouTube to find it if you're looking forward and I've changed times. You can still search it and find it. Um, my husband, I asked my husband for feedback and stuff because he's brutally honest. I, of course, right? He's brutally honest. Like, don't do that, do this. So I'm going to try a few of his suggestions, and I agree with him that most people, both sides of the family walk their work. And then it's time to get the kid home feed. It's the same for every generation. You work your butt off 2 or 3 jobs at a time. You've got your kids, you got the homework. I don't know what the hell that math is about, but yeah, they got all that stuff. And luckily they've raised one child. My grandson is 25, but our granddaughter is only, she'll be 12 right after my birthday. So, that was just a bit of a surprise. There's 13-year difference between her and her brother. Same as me and my adopted brother. We were 13 years apart. And it was great after we got a little older and he could do things with his sisters because you can't take little kids around everywhere when you're 13 or 14 years old unless they're your own. And apparently they decided to do that because I think he was 15 or 16 when his first child was born. I'm like, oh my word, no, I didn't want to do that. But still managed to do it at 20. And I have a brother-in-law who's an awesome guy. He's retired. He's my husband's older brother, but not by much. So, Noble Stafford, if you're hearing me, besides hitting my like button, happy birthday, yo. We're all old. You know this, right? It's good to see another year. Right now, it's not. It's not. I can't figure out people who want to live forever. I'm like, how come? Every morning I get up, I hurt worse than I did when I went to bed, which is why I started doing the 5 o'clock thing. So the upshot is, everybody, and again, Noble Stafford, I hope you're hearing me. Happy birthday. I was accepted on your wall. Uh, and it would be good to see them. We haven't seen them in 3 or 4 years. And they live down in Florida. Not too far from us, but too far for me to get to easily. I do not believe it. This cat is so crazy. Pixie, grab her. Oh, he is cooking. Um, Somebody grab you. She'll jump on there. Robert, here she goes. Robert, grab the cat. Is come here. I'm not doing a podcast live. I'm doing a cat. Talk to my husband in another room saying grab the cat. And he's busily ignoring me as usual. Yes. Life is great, isn't it? Yes, you can't kill them. And I'm talking about the husbands. Yeah, they don't like that much. Yeah, I might. But they're not sure. Yeah, in some countries, literally, you can get a divorce just by looking at somebody and saying, "That's it. You see the have it now." Well, I told the man to get the cat, put the cat in the room, but he was busy, didn't he? He pretended to hurt me. This is the bar, as I've said before. So it's directly across from me. It's a huge mirror, like you would have in any other bar, and it has a shelf with two drawers. And on that shelf are all of, well, a lot of my shot glasses that over the years of traveling and Robert traveling as well, we collected or tried to get a state shot glass from every state. You know, that shot glass, get this shot glass. Well, now they're out in the open and they're along that shelf, and she'll jump from one end of the bar up onto the mirror, which actually abuts the bar, and then she'll start trying to step over stuff. So as you could hear, there's a loud gasp from me. And then you want to snap the crap out of the husband, then pretend he didn't hear you anyway. Yeah, you guys have the same problem, right? Well, I also saw that Rafa's being evacuated as fast as they can go. I did see also the tent city that the Egyptians are putting up. They are, it seems, going to let them at least come through there for a little while and then maybe another way. It looks like Hezbollah, after apparently really bombed the crap out of them, has decided to stay out of the war for a little while in Israel. They should, these are the, don't keep hitting container ships and stuff. You won't be in the war. But at the same time, both Iran and Lebanon are firing at ships at sea and at Israel. So they're firing on us because we're technically the ones out in the sea without them. And, you know, we can launch those fighter pilots and get all that done at the same time. And I see he's delivered a taco. I guess I'm supposed to eat that on live TV. Y'all know I'm going to do that, right? Yeah. You know, I know. You straight out know I'm not. I didn't have much else to tell y'all this morning, but it's going to be a really short broadcast, and I apologize. I'm trying to hit the few points that I picked up today. Uh, I try to hit the morning news. Rafa's been evacuated, which is a good thing, but at this point, I feel for them. But the Palestinian people that well, I don't know if they let them, they knew and they had knowledge from the beginning that, you know, the Hamas tunnels are there. The last that they have to hit Rafa because they are still working out of the Rafa hospital. I mean, the terrorists are still operating on the last hospital, which is Rafa. And I believe they actually struck, as what I could see uh, in the quick video that I caught, where doctors, greens, smoke, people pulled out hospital beds. So I think they may have already had to target them. I hope not, but I believe they did. I'm not a person who has a vendetta against anybody, but what happened on October 7th, our country would have retaliated in the same fashion. Actually, I think much, much harder than what we saw coming on. They gave them 3 weeks before they even tried to stop Hamas. So you really can't even count from October 7th to the end of October because they didn't do anything. They didn't attack them. But now there's nothing standing in Gaza. The last buildings that are still standing are at Rafah, which is the end of the Gaza Strip. It's the last city that's left standing. And they warned them they were coming, so they knew they were coming. They also managed to get some footage from a drone that showed one of the female hostages who had been taken along with her 4-year-old and now her 1-year-old. She was the one that had the 9-month-old baby when they were captured, and he turned 1 in captivity. Well, they had told the IDF somehow, I don't know how that works, but they had told them that this woman had died and the children had died. And then they caught the footage. They had thrown a blanket over her, but the kid didn't like the footage. He didn't like the blanket, so he had taken the blanket off his face. So they were able to get and verify who this was. And so there is still hope that the hostages are alive, but they are coming. And that would be my head going by. So you might see him. So I'm waving him by so he can come by because again the bar is at our house. I'm not somewhere else. There he goes. Thank you for breakfast, dear. I am gonna wrap up in a second. And so off he goes. Uh, my, and it's really cold here today. It's 38 degrees. And I have to go shopping. And he's helping out a friend of his, but he gets paid. I mean, it's not like he doesn't. Um, but it's still really cold, and one of their pieces of equipment has broken down. They've got to get the part and find and all that. Put that on before they can finish whatever it is they're doing. There's always something going on there. I have no idea. Um, as far as retired goes, this is me retired and still doing as much as I can to learn something else. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this. And I'm hoping that anyone that sees this today, the comment can be dropped in, whether it's live or whether you picked it up later. Put in those comments anything you want. Just throw something on there, throw a like in there, share with your friends if it's something you think they might enjoy or not. If you don't like them, send me over there. And at this point, I have to eat because for one thing, food is so expensive. I mean, to, we pick up the eggs, 2 packs. It's wrapped in cellophane, and that's $10 for eggs. So already this is getting bad. It was already bad. They doubled everything. Now they're working on tripling everything. You shouldn't have to pay $10 for a couple of dozen eggs. That used to be $1.49. So, uh, good luck to the truck drivers in New York. I'm not sure what your end is, but I hope you stay safe. I hope you don't break any laws because this is the same state that has fined former President Trump $355 million and no enacting any business, either him or his sons, for the next 3 years. I think the sons only had 2 years disbarment from New York. So apparently, if you're a judge, even though every bank in that state and many others testified before said judge that they had no trouble with any of the Trumps. That if any money was borrowed, it was immediately reciprocated back with interest, and that they had no problem with them. That they were one of the best businesses in the state. But this woman, this DEA, and this judge, they did not. They're not practicing law. They're not going by law. They're not going by whether somebody broke the law and they have to prove it. They're going by, I'm God. I have a law degree. I'm a judge. I can charge you whatever you want. And that's the way it looks to me. And we've all seen this before. Our judicial system is more than broken. And sometimes I'm looking around thinking, did I cross into Russia in 1960 and not notice? Because it's kind of like it was there. The January 6ers is what I call them. They were thrown in jail for months. Yet these mooks that have come across the river, they can go over and kill people. They arrest them, even when they beat up an officer a few days ago. They brought them in to book them. They wouldn't have to book them on. They would book them. Back out. You're like, um, another thing I was going to touch on with Peter Ducey. Peter Ducey said, uh, you've got millions of people that come across our border, our southern border in the past 3 years. And yet you've got this team. I forget what team it is, but it's an athletic team that's come into, I think it's the soccer team. In any event, there's a team coming in to play sports. And they have to have shots and be checked and wait and all that. And then, as he pointed out, the southern border is getting 800,000, 300,000, depending on the day. People coming across, they're not given a shot. They're not asked if they had a shot. They don't know their real names. So why is it okay for these people to cross and not do those? But you've got a sports team coming in, and they have to be quarantined. They have to have shots, and they have to wait all this time. It's the same thing during the pandemic. Walmart stayed open. Everybody else had to close, including churches. Kids couldn't graduate with their friends. It was a police state for 2 years here in the United States, except for some places like Florida with Ron DeSantis. He refused to do that unless they had an outbreak, and then they would reinstitute it. But they had hardly any trouble during that pandemic. But every other state lost. Uh, we lost thousands of businesses. And what is the difference between a sports team that's flown in and 11 million who walked across the river? How come they don't get those shots? It's a good question. I think Peter Ducey nailed that one right on the head. Because everybody else, if I want to go into another state, if I have to have a passport, I certainly need ID at all times. Not these people. Not these people. It's time for the Americans to stand up and say, knock it the heck off. You take care of home first. That's where you get the freaking money that you are giving to everybody. Everybody. You've got two nuclear nations that are poised already and hitting us in the sea. So it's time for everybody to wake up and realize that our country is in grave danger both from within and from without. And it's time to take the country back. We are the people, all of us. We're the ones that this country has been standing for almost 300 years on the simple principles of law that were drawn up and signed off on. We usually call it the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. And it's time to go back to that. It is we the people, for the people. So come on in, come see me, hit the like button, please. If, I would love to have any feedback that anyone has. If you're not seeing enough of one topic and you'd rather see another topic or so forth. Um, and I'm also hoping my Facebook friends jump in here. Throw a like, throw it up, share, tick the bell, free subscription. Takes 2 seconds to take it off. You don't want it. Um, and once I hit a certain algorithm, then I can start having more control of my channel. And I don't want to lose my channel yet. And I'm not giving up. I believe that my generation, and I mean that from like, say, the 50s into the middle 60s, that my generation does want to say something. They do want to do something. And then at this point, I have a husband still yelling in the background. So throw some stuff at me online if you can. Throw it in the comments. And we'll see what I can do with it later. So I'm being rushed this morning. And I have stuff to do. I really do. So again, throw a comment in there, like, dislike, do something. I'll try to get back with y'all later. In the meantime, try to have a good day. I don't know, guys. I'm going to be off to have a good day. Toodles.